I am not going to use horse manure again next year. I am not going to use horse manure again next year. I'm not using horse manure again next year. I am not going to use horse manure next year. Now we've got a bit of a problem, potentially quite a big problem actually. Now what it is horse manure. I've been using horse manure now for the past 5 years, since I took this allotment on 5 years ago, and I've never really had any issues with it. And I've sworn by the stuff over the last few years, and I've had some good results from using it. But last year, and especially this year, I have noticed some symptoms of aminopyralid herbicide damage. If you're not aware of what aminopyralid is, it's basically a herbicide that's used to kill broadleaf weeds like clover and things like that in farmers' fields. And this herbicide can get into the horse manure through the straw or through the manure, and it's becoming a very common problem amongst many gardeners. I'm hearing a lot more about it at the moment. Now last year I did have a couple of tomato plants with some symptoms of aminopyralid damage on the plants. Just a couple of tomato plants, and that was it. So in the end I just shrugged it off and I thought it was a fluke. I just carried on as normal, and it was just them couple of plants that had it. So silly me, big mistake. I used horse manure again this year thinking it was alright, and now we have a lot of plants which have symptoms of it. A lot of our tomatoes in the polytunnel, most of them actually, now have symptoms of aminopyralid damage, curling of the leaves, distorted younger leaves, and more so here actually the beans. The runner beans have quite severe symptoms of it actually, and what I'm going to have to do here unfortunately is I'm going to have to move this entire bean support here and put it in another bed over there. Thankfully I've got another bed which I can use, which hasn't been manured actually in a couple of years. It's clean, and it only had onions growing in it last year. So it's a bit of a rescue mission this. We're going to move the support over there without breaking it, and we're also going to dig these runner beans up and try and rinse the roots off. I'm going to stick the roots in a bucket of water to rinse them off, hopefully get rid of any aminopyralid, and transplant them over there. Hopefully they're alright and they recover. I'm going to direct sow some runner bean seeds next to them in case these ones don't survive, you know, just so I've got a backup. But I'm sure that the slugs are going to take care of that, and will probably ruin my plans with that, because yeah, we're having a lot of problems with slugs actually. Yeah, that's another issue, and that's an issue which I'll discuss in another video. So I know I said this last year, but I am not going to use horse manure again next year. I need to make sure I stick to that and don't use it again. We don't really know where the horse manure is coming from, to be honest. There's loads of different suppliers dropping it off as they feel like it. You know, they've got loads of piles of it just appearing out of nowhere. So I think there is definitely aminopyralid being delivered in this manure. I mean, it's not just the herbicide as well, it's also the weed seeds. There's so many weed seeds in it as well. There's a lot of shavings in it lately as well. It used to have a lot of straw bedding in it, but now it's just full of shavings, which, you know, if you know about composting, you know that wood shavings will steal nitrogen from the soil as they break down, so that can't be a good thing either. But the weed seeds are just ridiculous, and loads of mushroom spores as well, so we end up with mushrooms coming up all over the place. I'm probably just going to use chicken pellets. I've heard a lot of neighbours here have started using chicken pellets instead of horse manure, and I think that's a good idea, I think.
Whoa!
Whoa! Oh. Yeah, be careful when you're doing that. Oh, I broke it now. Yeah, we'll fix it. Yeah, I think that'll do. That's quite a nice fit. It's not exactly straight, it's not perfect, but I think that should do just fine. Okay, so I'm going to do the logical thing, and I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to rinse the roots first and then plant them in there, and hopefully they pick up and recover from this damage that they've got here with the new growth. I have got a few extra spare runner beans here which I hadn't thrown in, I had them spare. The slugs seem to have had a feast on those, to be honest. My allotment's like an all-you-can-eat buffet for the slugs at the moment, really. Honestly, it is ridiculous. I'm not going to go into that on this video too much, but yeah, it's been really bad. What's it been like for you guys? I know a lot of other gardeners have had issues with slugs this year because it has been very wet. Anyway, I'm going to dig these up now, and this bed as well, by the way, it's not going to be wasted. I'm not going to be able to grow any broadleaf plants in here for a good while, a good couple of years, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 30-litre potato buckets on top of here. The aminopyralid isn't going to get to these because they're in the containers. So let's dig a few of these up and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, so see that there with the leaves, that is not normal, and that is a telltale sign of aminopyralid herbicide damage. Their distorted curled leaves and the younger leaves as well are very badly curled. They sort of like look like a claw, they sort of claw up like that, like this. So yeah, that's not good. I'm 99% sure it's aminopyralid, really. I've got no doubt about it at all. Okay, so we have our washed runner bean plants here. They do look a little bit sorry for themselves, but we're going to get them in here anyway and give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they pick up. It's 50-50 really, I think, but we're going to stick some runner bean seeds in direct next to them, like I said before, because you know, I'm not 100% confident that these are going to take. You know what? The soil is so wet still at the moment. You know, this soil is quite hard to work, and we're now in June, and honestly, you'd think we were still in February with how wet the soil is lately. That's why nothing's growing, I think. Things are very slow at the allotment at the moment. I think that's down to the cool, wet weather that we're still having even now. So right, so here we go. We've got our beans here. Yeah, we'll see what happens with those. If they do get going, we will see. They might have a bit of a sulk to begin with. I think that will happen. Okay, so that is our beans, hopefully revived. We will see, time will tell. We'll see over the next few weeks how these recover, if they recover, will we get a crop. At least we've done something, you know, we've taken action, we've hit the problem head on. We've moved the runner beans from the bed which has the suspected aminopyralid in there. I've rinsed the roots off in water and I've replanted them in this bed, which is free of any fresh manure, to be honest. It's not been manured in a good 2-3 years at least. So, to be honest, they look absolutely terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. They look really, really bad. They look really bad, these. There's loads of slug damage on them. There's loads of this curled leaves because of the aminopyralid. Some of them have snapped stems on them. So we'll see, we'll see. So thank you for watching this little vlog update today. Not really the update I wanted to do, but hopefully this works and we can still get a good crop of beans. We will see. Stay tuned over the next few weeks. I will be doing regular updates on this, on how they do. They look terrible right now, but who knows? In a few weeks' time, they might climb up the supports and look really, really good and give us some lovely beans. So come back for more in the next few weeks. So that's all for now. I will see you in the next one. Happy gardening and stay safe.